Good morning. Next news. Democratic Congressman received violent and graphic threats after comments on Trump. HuffPost. The solution to political disagreement in America is never violence. 00. It should be easy for everybody to say that. 00. Below are your comments. Freedom of speech is no longer what it was supposed to stand for. It is only for those that think their truths are the only truth. Are the authorities following up on these threats? Start prosecuting the people making them. I think it's against the law. Who's responsible for Trump's radicalization to become anti-American? For a guy who boasted he would take care of America's problems on day one in office or during the transition period before taking office, the buck stops with Trump. Trump owns all the failures of his. The MAGA cult does not respect people's rights and they perpetually demonize all that aren't Republican. Threatening people is an obvious example. The Republican Party's signature theme is us versus them. They push it incessantly to promote hate and destabilize constitutional government in the pursuit of power. Kind of like that guy from Germany. The Constitution, with its checks and balances and citizens' GHTS, is what protects the people from the excesses and abuses of government power. Laws are right, and by the government for the governed. The Constitution is the law for the government. The MAGA cult's leader, Trump, has advocated for nation of the Constitution to which he took an oath. And he has incited a violent insurrection against the legislative branch of government, leading to 140 police being injured. Preserve, protect and defend your Constitution for yourself, your family, your country, the rule of law and generations of Americans who have put life and I agree with Moulton on this. I really do not understand why anyone would receive backlash for what he stated. Threaten violence to a guy that wants our leaders to denounce violence. What am I missing here? One of the first things our divider-in-chief does is come to conclusions without facts and makes reads to people who had nothing to do with this. This is an extremely immature reaction to this tragedy and unfortunate leadership by a person who be uniting the country and calling for a peaceful resolution for our differences. The political arena was fairly calm, predictable and amicable prior to the mainstream acceptability of Trumpism. Trump not only promotes hate and violence, he glorifies it as long as it is against Democrats or his perceived enemies. He tells his mindless supporters that they are doing the right thing and it more than acceptable for them to commit violence as long as it is directed where he wants it, and they are more than happy to listen to his lies as an excuse to continue their program of hate and violence. If we had a leader, he should be telling people to calm down, not throwing blame. It is only making matters worse. The rabbit hole is getting deeper. Old school wisdom words match words. People today act like no one ever in all of history had these challenges we are seeing today. My family for generations were a part of diplomatic corps of conservative Democrats. It was pragmatic. We had to work with the other political aisle. Our words were carefully chosen for the task with respectful consideration. Best phrase ever was "there is always room for improvement," without any reference to a person, place or agenda item. Ask questions, not answer them. Never complain, never explain. Please wait a moment. America was founded on violent defeat of the Redcoats. We should not fight amongst ourselves even when we disagree, but save the violence for the possibility of the Redcoats returning to attack us once more. I guess the president and many in his cult have forgotten all about Jan. 6 hours of non-stop violence. And hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. Yeah, ignore all that as if it never happened. Brazil's former president Bolsonaro just got 27 years of prison for trying a coup to keep himself as president. He is a close friend of Trump's. And what did our country do when Trump did that also? No punishment, instead reward him with winning another election. Maybe I am against threatening or causing harm to anyone simply because of political ideology. Period. Anyone who does either should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I appreciate Moulton's efforts to quell violence, but it does absolutely no good to say it when America's commander-in-chief exploits violence at every turn. The saddest part is Trump exploits violence because he is weak. He's a scared little boy. Trump literally said he couldn't care less when asked about uniting Americans. He's the leader of our country, but it's the left's fault? Come on folks, this is not okay. Why would anyone threaten him over these comments? Shouldn't both sides denounce violence? Plus, he gave Speaker Mike Johnson a compliment by saying he liked how Johnson stated we should settle disagreements and disputes in a civil manner. Lastly, any good leader should lead. 0-0. I would love to see President Trump denounce violence and urge both sides to come together. It serves no purpose to blame one side. And where was the blame in the outrage when Melissa Hortman and her husband wear bleep? Those poor children lost both parents. That is just horrible. We need a leader who will unite us. United we stand, divided we fall. Trump is the reason there is so much discord in our communities and in our nation. Thanks to Trump, he has spread so many negative comments as well as encouraging violence. Our county is falling apart and can't survive if nothing is changed. He is not stable to continue running our country, for he has created division by his lying, his lack of leadership and communication bleep. Congress has done nothing to correct this, as well as the Republican Party. The Republican Party is destroying itself. It's not what it used to be. I feel for our younger generation and what they will have to deal with Trump's legacy. All their comments haven't aged well, considering that the guy had no ties to the left, but was raised in a Republican Christian family. His roommate told authorities that he had grown angry over political divisiveness from both sides, and Kirk was certainly one of the main dividers on the right. Trump, Fox News and most of Trump's MAGA extremists are now openly calling for violence against our Americans with whom they disagree. Trump, Fox News and MAGA only believe in free speech for themselves, not for anyone else. That's how it works in Russia, China, and every other dictator-controlled country. File Trump called for the Second Amendment people to take care of Hillary Clinton as the first call of political violence by a modern American presidential candidate. The buck began there. It is so obvious that the far-right wing is much more dangerous than anyone on the left, starting with Timothy McVeigh to the January 6th insurrectionists. And the far-right wing knows it, as they brag about having all the guns in America. I want to be sure I get this right, so making graphic and specific threats of violence against public figures if you are MAGA is good and patriotic. Making the same threats if you are liberal, Democrat, is sick and warped and should be punished immediately with at least. Remember, Nancy Mace is a problem maker and not a lawmaker. Most lawmakers, as they call them, create things by what they say. Congress try to grow up and act like you're making laws, or just get out on the government totally. Trump is the catalyst that released the hatred that smoldered in Republicans and the far-right Christians. The Bleeper was a Goiper, a radical right-wing group that hated Kirk because he supported Israel. There are social media pictures of him posing and doing memes from that group. His dad wore a 3%er t-shirt, which is another radical right group. This guy was a radicalized conservative. Trump told the truth for a change when he said he couldn't care less. Come to think of it, that could be his motto for anything that doesn't benefit him. Kind of kicks back what Don Jr. says about Democrats being the only ones practicing political violence, huh? Kirk said that we U.S. should just accept needless gun deaths as part of U.S. having the Second Amendment. W.L. Then thank you Mr. Kirk for your contribution to said comment. You reap what you sow in life. Learn from that people. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.